All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin. I am your host, Tone Vays, coming to you live from Miami, Florida. Oh, man, I forgot to change the thumbnail. I'm in Miami now. And I'll change the thumbnail after. It's all good. It's not that important. And I will be back in Panama tomorrow. Tomorrow I fly back to Panama. For the last couple of days, I've just been relaxing, recovering, actually sleeping. I think I've been sleeping like 14 hours a day for the last few days. Nothing important going on, just FTX going down, maybe GBTC, but I needed to catch up on sleep. How's my audio? I'm using the microphone of my camera. I'm just being totally lazy. So, hey, Jimmy G, Mark Wood, it's hard. Usual suspects. Yeah, so I'm back in the United States time zone. So now the videos are going to come at a proper, decent hour. Maybe I'll start joining Swan Spaces again. I got to start my own spaces. Oh, man, so many changes coming to my brand. Maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. Who knows? Let's go to the charts. I don't have too much time. I got to jump on a couple of calls after this. And then I got to get over to South Beach for a couple of meetings. It's always meetings never end. How many live viewers we have in this at this time? Not many, just 200. AV is good. All right. Not your keys, not your coins. Yep, yeah, we talked about that for a long time. Trace Mayer needs to come back. My bad on that front. All right. Let's go to the charts. All right, we still have about, oh, that's interesting. That's new. Screen sharing. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, Zoom did something new. Oh, cool. Okay, that's neat. So okay. Anyway, the monthly chart. We got a few months to go. We got a few days to go. I really don't want to see this red star candle. I want to see the red star go away. But for that to happen, Bitcoin's going to need a monster rally. And I just don't see that happening. So we move on. This was the minor profitability chart. We are sitting in between nowhere. So it's not very useful. But minor profitability is actually better, you know, than it was in the mid 2020. Certainly better than it was in 2018. And we wait and see how this develops into the halving. I'm going to close this chart. Somebody asked for it last time, so I had it open. This is our weekly chart. Our weekly chart is going to roll over soon. This is going to be our second month in the red, but no red star candle yet. I don't know what to think of this chart. I like the CMF especially. The RSI is okay, and the MACD is still okay. So we have a little bit of contradiction between the price action and the oscillators. So things are not lining up, but I do think this is that final capitulation. As you guys know, I've been expecting Bitcoin to bottom around this time and around these prices. I really thought it was going to rebound last month from these prices, but I was concerned of the triangle. I'm still concerned of the triangle because it has not yet made it to its targeted conclusion of 11,000. So there's still some concerns, but I like where the oscillators are headed. I am not adding to my position yet. I am in a wait and see approach because each candle is within the confines of the prior candle for the last two candles. So I would need us to move above this candle's high in order to potentially add to the bullish position. Everyone's asking about Black Friday prices. I'm gonna discuss this today with a few friends, and these might adjust tomorrow. The financial summit is coming to back to the UAE, and it's 1 year away. I'll talk more about that in the future. Okay, we're probably should please follow us on YouTube. All right, let me finish with the charts, and then we can talk about GBTC. We can talk about saying bank went fraud and all the other people. Tone, I think the reason you had some difficulties calling 2022 bear market early was because of FTX manipulation of the market. No, I'm not going to use FTX as an excuse. There's lots of fraud in the system. We still got to figure out what's going on with Digital Currency Group and how exposed they are. Like I always said, like I didn't see much difference between Binance or FTX. They were very similar companies to me. Surprising that FTX blew up. If GBTC blows up, 10,000 seems reasonable. Yeah, on a short-term panic, maybe. But guys, you know what, let's talk about that after. Let's look at the daily chart. The daily chart is forming a very nasty flag. This is called a bearish pennant. It's a very nasty pattern. It's a very, very nasty pattern. You don't want to see this. You really don't want to see this pattern. It's a very nasty pattern. And now you copy this giant red line and you put it right here. Very, very nasty pattern. Terrible. Not something you want to see at all. Shit might really hit the fan next week. I would be very cautious. Thank you, See Further. Binge watching Better Call Saul. You know, I couldn't get through season 1. I found it so boring. I am so picky with my shows. I am incredibly picky with my shows. I give so many shows a chance because I binge watch also. I just say, you know, screw it, and I take the weekend off and I watch like 24 hours of TV in a 48-hour span, and I like just binge watch like 3 to 4 seasons of a show. People are telling me to watch the new Game of Thrones. I saw the first couple of episodes and I really didn't like it. So maybe it gets better. I don't know. I'm super picky with my shows. The only good as far as I'm concerned, the only good show on TV right now is HBO's Warrior. HBO's Warrior to me is like the only good show on TV right now. Can't wait for season 3. And I think everything else is just pure crap. I haven't watched TV in 6 months. I've been traveling since August. I haven't watched any TV at all. Like no shows, no movies. I am on CNN though. I'm on CNN like every day. I still haven't seen it. Have people seen me on CNN? I saw the first season of True Detectives. It was great. I saw the second season of True Detectives and it was pure dog shit. So I have not watched the third season of True Detectives. All right, I'm getting off on tangents again. I don't have any thoughts on Litecoin. It's a waste of my brain cells. Just get rid of your Litecoin. It's a shit coin. It's a useless shit coin. Okay. Oh wait, I can make more space. Let me get rid of the bookmarks. If you want my, we're going to talk about SPF after. Let's just look at the charts. Here is GBTC. I gotta check my code. There's something wrong with my code. Man. And I can't get in touch with my old developer that built this code. That sucks. Vinay, if you're watching, can you please text me back? Whoa, what happened to oil? Oil was promising. That's interesting. Must have happened on Friday. What happened on Friday? Oh, and Thursday and Friday. Huh. Not sure what to think of this yet. Let's see what happens next week. Here is the U.S. government and the strategic oil reserve. So the Democrats still have a lot of power left, and they continue to siphon oil from the strategic oil reserve. Look at that. We're down to 392 million barrels. And they will continue to do this, I believe, all the way until the next president of the US. So let's see how much oil they've siphoned off. So when did they start this? So when did the Democrats take office? So the Democrats took over in 2021. So in January 2021, and there were 638 million barrels, and we are down to under 400 now, and we still have a month to go. So let's assume we're at 380 by the time maybe 385 by the time the year ends, right? So in 2 years, they siphoned off 250 million barrels of oil in 2 years. If we project that going forward, if they take off another 250 million barrels, I don't know, this could be well in a month. Yeah, look, in the last month, they took down almost 15 million barrels, right? So we still have a month and a half to go. So they can take down 20 million barrels easy. So, okay, so let's say 375. So they took us down over 250 million barrels. We'd be down to 375. If they continue doing what they've been doing, they will leave the Republican president, assuming there is a Republican president coming in, which is not guaranteed, by the way. There could easily be a Democratic president. Whichever the next president is, it's very likely he's going to have less than 200 million barrels in a strategic reserve, something that was over 700 million barrels not that long ago. That is a huge problem. And eventually this would need to get refilled at higher prices, driving up the price of oil. This is very similar to the GBTC premium. It's the same exact concept in a way. Same exact concept. If you were forced to buy one old, which would it be? Guys, I wouldn't. I'd buy the S&P 500. I wouldn't buy an old. Like it's a silly question. Like you guys know, my second favorite asset in the world is the S&P 500. And there it is. There's the S&P 500. It's coming into resistance, but that is my second favorite asset. How you advise someone to learn poker? By playing cheap games with your friends. I mean, I've never studied poker. I didn't do well the other day, actually. I was break even many times, but then I don't know, ran into rough hands. Last time I played, I didn't do good. I did pretty good at the summit. I played pretty good at the summit. Anyway, here's the S&P 500. We're doing great off the MRI buy on the S&P 500, but the big challenge is going to be this trend line. Let's see if we can challenge and break the trend line. All right, there's nothing else I can say about the charts. Real quick on politics, Democrats took the Senate. I think there's still one race up for grabs. So hopefully Herschel Walker will win in Georgia, and it will be a split Senate. The Democrats took the House, and there's still some races up for grabs. You can see what races they are. Alaska is super Democrat, so that's going to go to the Democrat. And this California district only has Democrats running, so it doesn't really matter which of these two wins. And the others are Colorado. Wow, Colorado might actually have a Republican. I think that's a very controversial race. You have California. That looks like it's going to go Republican, though 30% still left unaccounted, so who knows. 5% unaccounted. This can definitely flip the other way. And 14% unaccounted, 5%, yeah. So another California district. So these are the only districts. So there's 6 up for grabs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think that's it. I think there's just 6 up for grabs, right? So, yep, 6 up for grabs. So hopefully they'll finish counting sometime this decade, and we'll know what the political situation is. Man, the Senate is still hilarious. The Pennsylvania Senate election is such a joke. Super funny. Fetterman won by 5% too. Man, I really wish Tyler was alive to discuss GBTC. All right, so where do we begin with your questions? What about the moderators? Everyone is speculating on GBTC. Look, let's go to, where are we going to go? Oh, World Cup starts tomorrow. I guess I'll watch some. I'm not even sure who I'm rooting for. I'll see. I'll decide who I'm rooting for after the first round is after the preliminary round's over. I don't really have a dog in this fight. But we'll keep an eye on the World Cup. I guess. Oh yeah, I have Twitter open twice. So let's go here. So everyone is speculating on GBTC now. This, I have no idea what this is. An explosion near St. Petersburg, probably sabotage. I mean, Russia has got so many haters. Probably a terrorist attack on Russia. If they find out who it is, it's not going to end well for them. So Elon Musk is saying some stupid shit again. Not surprising. So this is like my Twitter feed. UK Prime Minister Sunak visits Kiev to meet Zelensky. Of course he is. Okay, so a couple of things. I'm happy for El Salvador. There's an event going on there right now. I have a lot of friends visiting there. Where do we start with FTX and also with GBTC? There was a couple of good graphics. Like I have so much stuff on my feed that it's hard to get to some of them. Like I see so much cool stuff on Twitter and then I can never find it again. which sucks. Anyway. Coinbase stock. Yeah, I am curious about Coinbase stock. That's still right. Yeah, Coinbase took a dive because if something is wrong with GBTC and there's no backing, Coinbase is going down with it. So much depends on GBTC. Coinbase is their custodian. Okay, so there was a tweet from Grayscale. Descending triangle on a daily forming tone. I think the reason I read that one. Tone. How has the recent price action fit into the hyperwave? I don't know. That's a good question. That's a really good question. How is it fitting into the hyperwave? Hyperwave Bitcoin. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know how it's fitting into hyperwave. Well, not very well, clearly. So this is wrong, right? Gone. This is way too long of a wave 3 or a wave 2. It's way too long for a wave 2. So I don't know. This is wave 2 can't be longer than wave 1. So I don't know. Again, wish Tyler was here. I don't know. Well, Coinbase would go down because that doesn't make them a very good custodian, right? Like, if you're not good at your job, why would anyone trust you? Like, I think from a regulatory perspective, Coinbase would be in a lot of trouble if Coinbase just vouched for GBTC and the GBTC Bitcoin aren't there. Now, having said that, I believe the GBTC is backed by Bitcoin. So Grayscale, Grayscale. Wait, is it E or is it? It is A. Okay, it is A. So it was E. It is Grayscale. Okay, so Grayscale put out a thread that pissed a lot of people off. And it all came from these parts of the tweet. So here's the tweet. You can read it. Each Grayscale digital asset product is set up as a separate legal entity and investment trust for a single asset product and limited liability company for diversified products. The laws, regulations, and documents that define Grayscale digital asset products prohibit the digital asset underlying the products from being lent, borrowed, or otherwise encumbered. So they're making it very clear that GBTC is backed by real Bitcoin. To be perfectly clear, the GBTC underlying Grayscale Bitcoin's trust are owned by GBTC and GBTC alone. But this is different, right? There is Bitcoin that underlies Bitcoin trust. But then there is also GBTC, the tradable asset, which is differently, but also backed by Bitcoin. These are two different things. And everyone's having a problem with tweet number 6 and 7, but I have a problem with tweet number 5. This is the tweet that bothers me. Because there is Bitcoin underlying the Bitcoin trust, but then when people exit the trust, they create GBTC shares, which are also backed by Bitcoin, but I don't believe it's the same Bitcoin as in the trust. It's a different set of Bitcoin back in GBTC. It should be in a different, let's say, address. Unless they're commingling the Bitcoin that underlie the trust and GBTC, which is possible, but I don't think it should have been that way. That's just kind of my view on it. And now they're saying that for security reasons, they're not going to show you their public key that backs the 650,000 Bitcoin in the trust. Now, here's my view on this, and this is not going to be a popular opinion at all. And actually, we're going to make a 2-minute video out of this, right? So my view on it is this. I actually agree with it's none of the public's business what the public key is of the Bitcoin underlying Grayscale's GBTC. This is an unpopular opinion. It's an unpopular opinion. But it's if the Bitcoin is there, look, we all want transparency, right? Bitcoin provides that transparency. But in a way, I almost have to side with Grayscale here. It's if you don't, no one has to own this asset, right? It's no one has to own it. Like you can buy it and not buy it. And Grayscale doesn't have an obligation to you, some guy that is holding 30 shares of GBTC, and you have your, $2,000-3,000 invested in it. They have no obligation to show you that public key. Like they don't have to do that. It's their right not to do that. And if you don't like it, tough cookies, don't hold GBTC. Like it's I actually don't have a problem with this. I don't. Everybody else seems to have a problem with it. I don't. Okay. We know the preceding point in particular will be disappointment to some. Yeah, and it's like people are going apeshit over this. But panic sparked by others is not a good enough reason to circumvent complex security arrangements that have kept our investor assets safe for years. So again, if this is their policy, not to show their public key of the assets, then that's what it is. That's it. You don't like it? Sell your GBTC shares, right? Unfortunately, you'd be selling your GBTC shares at a 40% discount. Now, Grayscale is now the biggest owner of GBTC, or one of Barry Silver, or Digital Currency Group, the parent company. It's like companies within companies within companies. Because if GBTC is fully backed by Bitcoin, and you are an insider of Grayscale, and you know that it's fully backed by Bitcoin because you know where the keys are, you know where the public keys are, you then have a 40% advantage knowing full well and laughing all the way to the bank that someone is selling you this asset at a 40% discount, and you know that it's fully backed. So the fact that DCG, Digital Currency Group, now owns the majority of GBTC publicly available shares, eventually they'll make up that 40%. Now, it would be great if they sold the underlying Bitcoin. Well, not really, right? Because if they start selling the underlying Bitcoin, they're going to drop the price of Bitcoin further. But if they were to distribute that underlying Bitcoin to GBTC holders, I am still one of the holders of GBTC. I still somewhat trust the regulatory system that this is a regulated product and it is backed by Bitcoin. And I believe I have more trust that this is backed by Bitcoin than say GLD is backed by gold. They can't dissolve GBTC to sell it to save Genesis. It's a regulated product on the stock exchange. They can't actually do that. I have watched the sessions. I've seen the first 2 seasons of the session. It's actually pretty good. I haven't seen season 3 yet, but I hear it's good also. look, no one has to own GBTC, right? But I still have some GBTC shares. I still have some of them. And I'm still waiting for that premium to get back to zero. And I believe that it is still fully back. Now, I could be wrong. I have had no exposure to FTX. I had no exposure to Celsius. I don't have any exposure to any of these crypto garbage with their own tokens. But following in Tyler Jenks's footsteps, and Tyler Jenks is the one that changed my mind on grayscale and GBTC and its regulated product. I'm still holding on to some GBTC, and until I am proven otherwise, I am assuming that the Bitcoin underlying GBTC is there. Now, I could certainly be proven wrong. Why would I sell GBTC at a 40% discount if there is yet to be zero evidence that it's not fully backed? Just like with Tether, right? I mean, people have been screaming about Tether for a decade, that it's not backed by any dollars, and here we are with Tether still equaling $1. So I've gone back and forth on Tether. I have mostly defended Tether. I've defended Tether 70% of the time, and I've been critical of Tether 30% of the time, to the point that both sides hate me, to the point of my name being in the court filings of the Bitfinex case. Like if I go to my bookmark tweets, right? Like here is an email that is in the court case. New York County Clerk filed in 2019 within the Bitfinex court case by the New York State Attorney General looking into Tether. And here's an internal email within Bitfinex calling Tone a colossal douche, okay? So both sides of the Tether situation absolutely hate me. Like I said, to the point where my name is inside the Attorney General's email case, referring to me as a colossal douche, okay? I've defended Tether. I've been critical of Tether. So I've defended GBTC. I've been critical of GBTC. And that's my view on GBTC. And I still have some GBTC in my tax-free retirement account. And I still believe that I still believe it is back until proven otherwise. Now, let's briefly talk about same bankment fraud. Thank you, Bitcoin DCA. I'm not a douche. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's in there. It's in there. The Tone Vays, the colossal douche, is part of the court case on Tether. Tone, can you educate me on this? In 100 years or so, when the mining reward is zero, how can Bitcoin support an expanding economy without creating rapid deflation? And guys, I don't really like, why do you care what happens in 100 years? We'll worry about what's going to happen next year, not in 100 years. I've explained it many times what's going to happen. What might happen in 100 years. Like, I'm not concerned about this. And besides, in 100 years, there's going to be better technology than Bitcoin. But it will be in 100 years, not like last year, right? GBTC is censorable and confiscatable. I agree. But I'm not going to disagree with that. But no one's going to use GBTC for transactions, right? And you'd be surprised how safe and secure your retirement funds are on a proper regulated broker. The most secure form of banking is being invested in the stock market. Real quick on Sam Bank SBF, I don't think he's going to jail. I don't think he's going to prison. He's way too politically connected. The media loves him. The media is gonna portray him as a misunderstood hero. They're gonna portray how great it is for the financial system that FTX has gone under. The regulators that gave FTX a free pass, they're going to use this opportunity to crack down on, all kinds of crypto shit, including Bitcoin. They're going to say how the space needs to be more regulated, even though the regulators turned their blind eye to this. They didn't do shit. They're going to use this as an opportunity. SBF is going to go through a long trial where at the end of the trial, he'll get some house arrest in a house so he can continue on with his orgies. And he also, I love how people are like, Tone, he didn't only contribute to the Democratic Party. He contributed to all these Republicans. Yes, he only contributed to the Republicans that were anti-Trump Republicans, and they're Republicans in name only. They're the rhinos that hate the Republican Party, and they love the Democratic Party. So those were the Republicans that he donated to very strategically. He is neck deep in Ukraine fraud with the money laundering. It's a whole laundry machine with the Democratic Party, Ukraine, and they're gonna sweep this under the rug. This is no different than the Maxwell case, the sex trafficking to no one. So she got some jail time, but that's because she had to get some jail time. He may get 11 months in a camp, kind of like Charlie Shrem. It's one of these prisons that doesn't even have a fence. Same people like Bernie Madoff's programmer team was there with Charlie Shrem. He may get 11 months there. That's not real prison. He's not going to get real time like Ugly Old Goat doing 12 years hardcore federal prison. And then he's going to be hired he'll probably be working for the SEC or the CFTC as a consultant, making sure that the next FTX won't happen again. He'll be paid millions of dollars by the regulators as a consultant for future work. He is too politically connected. His girlfriend, the Alameda CEO, is too politically connected to the proper Marxist parties that I do not expect them to get any harsh penalties at all. This case is going to be drawn out, and I'm not expecting much of it. Hey, it's hard. RJZ22. No. Wait, sorry, man. We put you in timeout for 30 seconds. That was uncalled for. Yes, Ugly Old Goat did 11 or 12 years federal prison. Yeah, you can just that it's not a secret. He was anonymous for a while. I'm the one that brought him into the space, basically. Well, I didn't bring him into the space, but I'm the one that encouraged him to just be public. He tweeted it out. Here. 33 years ago, he mismanaged funds. He was a money manager also. He mismanaged clients' funds. He did not steal any of the funds. And he got 12 years federal prison for it. And he spent 12 years in federal prison. Yeah, and I replied to Ugly. Like if Ugly actually stole the funds and used them for proper political donations, he probably would have done very little time in prison. And SPF will do 9 to 11 months prison camp, kind of no fence kind of camp. And then he'll be hired by the government to work as a regulator. Yeah, what happened to John Corzine? John Corzine got off with a slap on the wrist. John Corzine mismanaged a shit ton of money. I wonder what happened to him. I agree. It'll be the same as John Corzine. Good call on that. John Corzine sentence. How much time did he do? Goldman Sachs, 2000 election, 10-year. Governor of New Jersey. Government shutdown. Yep. Okay, where the hell? Motorcycle accident. MF Global. Here we go. How much time did he do? Agreed to settle order requiring Corzine to pay $5 million penalty for the MF Global collapse. Corzine also agreed to be permanently barred from working for a futures commission merchant. There you go. He didn't do any time. He didn't do any time. MF Global was an outright disaster. MF Global. How much money did he lose? $1.5 billion. They mismanaged $1.5 billion. It all disappeared, and he got nothing. He didn't even go to prison at all. So there you go. There's your example. 1.5 billion Corzine went up in smoke with Corzine. All right, that's it for me, guys. I got to jump on some calls. I'm already late. Those are my thoughts on SPF. Here are my thoughts on GBTC. Like I said, my opinion on GBTC is not popular at all by anyone, mostly because GBTC doesn't have to show you their public key. They just don't. Like, if you don't like it, that's too bad. Like, they don't have to do that. They're like, we want them to, but they don't have to. You can compete with GBTC by starting a company that says, here is the public key, and this is the backing, and there you go. Well, you're not in timeout anymore, RJ. You're back because I see your message. So you can't be in timeout if I see your message. We took you out of timeout. All right, guys. Where is the best area to stay in Panama City? Just anywhere in the center. Since I'll be in Panama City quite often, actually. It's like my new home away from home. So if we just go to the map, simplest path to victory here. I'll leave it on this. So if we go to Panama City, wrong Panama City. Always happens. So annoying that there's a city called Panama City in Florida. There you go. So anywhere over here. There's two places, sorry. So either stay over here or over here. So those are your two spots. Either like right in the center here, anywhere in the center. I mean, I like the center. JW Marriott's popular. The Hilton is popular. So anywhere in this area, you see basically everywhere where you see my, the most expensive area is probably over here, Costa del State, but you're kind of far away from the city. So I would stay right in the middle here. This is where I usually stay. Or in Costco, which is this area. Super cool, lots of traffic getting in and out of this place. But you just go here and hang out. This is where the clubs are and stuff. So these are the two areas to stay in. So normally you just stay right in the center. You have the W Hotel and around it, or the Hilton. I'm more of a Marriott guy. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.